Hey, what's up? Zero back again, doing what I do. It's kind of weird to know that there's people actually listening to me now. I don't have to surf the porn websites and pretend I'm talking to the chicks, you know? Okay, baby. Yeah, I'll show you how to play Call of Duty. Tell you what, why don't you go prone and I'll show you my ballistic knife. Oh yeah. Moving on. Anyway, I might be old as shit, but I don't want to go on living in a world where dick jokes stop being funny. I don't think dick jokes ever stop being funny. At least I hope not. Oh, wait, too. There's got to be a joke somewhere in there, too, about the ballistic knife only taking one shot. You can't forget that one. It's just too easy. So this is a game I've been debating on posting for quite a while. It was a lot of fun to play and had some really good teamwork, but in the end we just don't quite pull it out. But there was a whole lot working against us in this game. You'll see me and two blue dots, and the blue dots will be sporting Huppet clan tags, and you're going to see those dots just going back and forth between flags like crazy, and me running in between flag B and C, just trying to cut off enemy routes as hard as I can. It's one huge effort, but we had a whole lot of stuff working against this. The most major one is being on completely different continents, so that led to a whole bunch of connection issues. And if you look at the other teammates, they're not really doing a whole lot, and we actually end up losing a couple of them at points throughout the game. But for pretty much 3 people taking on 6, it was really, really good effort, and I was proud to be part of it. It was a whole lot of fun. Like I always say, I'd rather lose a close, hard-fought game than win a landslide game that took absolutely no effort, and this is exactly what happened. The whole reason I ended up joining Huppet in the first place was just to find good teammates to play with, and I don't really care where they're at. I like playing with people in Europe and everything else. They always have a funny perspective on things, and a whole different aspect of viewing things, and funny accents too. That always cracks me up. They're on a whole different level of swearing over there too. It's great. Just hilarious. But I think the whole thing goes to show that if you're looking for a good team, you don't necessarily have to be looking right next door, or even within the same city or the same coast. You can look anywhere, and the basics are the same. It's all about communication. As long as you speak the same language, which I got lucky. They both spoke English, and of course I don't speak any other languages because I'm American, and you know how we are. Speak a little bit of Spanish. I try. I'm not like most other Americans in that aspect. But as long as you can communicate effectively and organize a strategy, that's the biggest part of winning a game. Implementing the strategy is a little bit tough at times, especially on the connections, but just forming it in the first place is the biggest part of winning a game. The whole game we were calling out, you know, there's a person who's a ghost here, there's a person that's flak jacket on this flag, 2 people over here, and always keeping eyes in the sky. You can see I'm running my UAV, counter UAV, napalm strike, just trying to give us every advantage we can so we know where they're at all times. Of course, you know, I'm running Ghost because I'm prone to doing that. I know people frown on it, but as long as I'm not camping in a corner, I don't see anything wrong with it. I like being able to move around the map freely. I'm not going to sit in a corner and do nothing just waiting for somebody to come by me. And I actually think it's a really good team-based perk because everyone hates Ghost, so if you would kill enough people in one area, you'll easily get half the team over there trying to hunt you down while they ignore the objectives completely, and that just leaves your team free to do whatever they want. Our main problem here in this game that we just can't get things brought together is we can't hold a strong front and cut them off before they get in here to B and keep them trapped in one area of the map. We're doing a pretty good job of doing it, but some of the players that we're playing with just aren't quite holding their own enough, and I don't really fault them for it in this game. I know the communication between us and the rest of the team wasn't that good because who knows how many continents this game's taken place over. I don't know how many languages I was hearing in the lobby. So that's always going to make it difficult if you can't, you know, share all the information with the rest of your team. They might be off doing their own thing while we're doing our thing, and it could just be completely countering what they're trying to do. Of course, I can't really feature what they'd be trying to do because we're pretty much sticking with the standard strategy. Take 2 flags and trap them in the other flag. And I don't know if anyone's noticed this yet, if anyone's even paying attention to the gameplay all that much, but there's somebody on the team that we're facing that's using Ghost very effectively. He's using it the way that it should be used. He's staying on the flanks, and he keeps coming around and shooting me in the side when I'm preoccupied with things in front of me. That's exactly how Ghost should be used. I'm really impressed by that. He is just basically flat out outplaying me, and I don't mind. When people do that, it forces me to come up with new techniques and new ideas and adapt. And once you've done that enough, then you finally start getting it around and basically have a counter to every situation that you run in. But at this point in time, I don't claim to be a master of Call of Duty. I don't even claim to be good at Call of Duty. I think if Woody is the unexceptional gamer, then I'm the barely competent gamer. I'm like the kid that they put in kindergarten class. They just aren't quite sure if he needs to go to the special class or not. And, they keep him in there anyway. And some people have the theory that he might actually be a genius in disguise, but he's not. But I think that's one of the main joys in gaming, is seeing how you improve and charting your progression and having that feeling of accomplishment of getting better. I think if I was just the master of games and never got beat and never had any problems at all and never had to learn anything, it would get boring really fast. So what would even be the point in playing at that point? When I first started playing Call of Duty 4, I was horrible at it. I could never even come close to a positive KD. And I worked and worked for years on that, and when I finally got my KD up to a 1 KD, I was so happy at that point. Of course, like now, and like then, I almost hardly ever played in a party, and now I've been playing in parties lately, I found that it's a whole lot easier to hold a good KD when you're in a party. Of course, I still make stupid mistakes like this, like chasing that guy. And he would have killed me if the sniper behind me hadn't killed me, because he totally had the drop on me there. And I think at this point in time in Black Ops, I've worked my KD up to somewhere around the 1.5 range. Somewhere in there. It's not quite there, I don't think. And for me, that's just a huge accomplishment. I know that's nothing to some people, but from where I started out, that's major improvement. I think if I'd been playing in a party all the time with other good players, that it would have helped a lot. My win-loss ratio is just horrible. I think it's 0.6 something. I don't even know. Because most of the games I get in, or especially the last few months, have just been constantly getting shot in the back as soon as I spawn. And those games are just no fun, so either my KD goes down from those games and I lose the game anyway, or I quit and take a loss on it, but either way I get a loss, so it's not really an ideal situation, however it works out. But now that I've started finding teammates to play with, everything's kind of turned around, and I really only have one place to think for that, and that would be Puppet, because I started playing with people from there, and then I started getting into it, and I started watching more commentaries. I'd already been watching some before, but I really started watching them then, and I decided, hey, it would be kind of fun to start making my own, and people watch my commentaries, and they want to play, and it just builds on itself, and it's turning into something a whole lot more fun. Anytime you can make your hobby even more fun, then there's really no downside to that, I guess. Man, the only bad thing about these really close domination games is they end up being really long. I always run out of stuff to talk about, and my throat gets dry, and I need a drink, so I think I'm going to pause my commentary and go get a drink and finish this in a few minutes. And I'm back now. Hope my little revelation here doesn't ruin anyone's opinion of me, because I usually try to come across as well-spoken and composed and have things put together, but in all honesty, that really couldn't be further from the truth. I'm just good at audio editing, or somewhat good at audio editing. Almost all my commentaries are like 30 or 40 different clips spliced together into one. Somehow I managed to keep it coherent though, so I don't know. I guess I gotta give a big shout out to Steve Jobs and Apple or something like that. I'm a total Apple whore. I wouldn't call myself a fanboy, but I use a whole lot of Apple stuff, and I've been using it for years, and Final Cut helps me out on my commentaries a lot. Just use a little voiceover tool, and oh, I messed up. Rewind to the last good spot, pick up where I left off. Hey, there I go. Like it never happened. Man, I wish there was things like that for real life. There's a lot of things I would nicely dub right back over. Some of my misadventures. I'm gonna have to do a commentary about those one of these days, because I've done some real stupid things that would make really entertaining stories. I just have to figure out how to tell them in the right way. I mean, really, how many YouTube commentators could say that they had a side job as a stripper for a while at one point in their life? I'm doubting a whole lot. That didn't last long, by the way. That was real crazy and fucked up. Not a point in my life I would ever want to replay. Well, maybe. It was pretty funny. Man, I'm really gonna have to keep myself anonymous, because my family doesn't even know about that. I really don't want them to find out about that ever either. That is one of the things I'm kind of embarrassed about in my life, in some aspects. But I had a noble thought that led to it. I mean, I was always really shy, so I thought, man, if you do this, you'll never be scared of anything else in your life. And yeah, for the most part, I was right about that. There's not really a whole lot scarier in life than that. That's the stuff that nightmares are made of. But anyway, I'll save that for a different time and a different commentary, because this one's winding down now. And I think since I've suddenly found a lot more support for my channel through Puppet Community, I really would like to say thanks to that, so I think I'll probably be doing a giveaway here sometime soon. I'm not going to do it the typical way that it's done, where I'm asking for thumbs up and subs and everything like that. I have something completely different planned. Love this kill cam I got here. But stay tuned for that and some more commentaries. And if you want, you can subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Just don't favorite. I'd rather you forget about that stripper thing.